Hi, investors. Nick Arner here from Investmore. And in today's podcast, we talk about conveyancing, freehold versus leasehold, and also Hong Kong versus England and Wales. As ever, if you like, please like. And if you want to see more, do please subscribe. Okay, then, let's get into it. Hey everyone, Nick Arner here from Investmore, and today I'm really fortunate to have Hosanna Ho with me, who's a solicitor. Hosanna, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, no problem, of course. Hello everyone, 你好，大家好. My name is Hosanna Ho. I originally come from Hong Kong and I came to this country back to year 1998, a long time ago. And I finished my degree here and I complete my legal training in this country. And I qualify in year 2009. I base in London and I specialize in property, immigration, and family law.
Hosanna, imagine you're a buy-to-let investor, knowing what you know as a solicitor deals with all these conveyancing cases. And we're thinking about the difference in the conveyancing process between, say, Hong Kong and UK, and what Hong Kong investors should really be watching out for in the UK conveyancing process. Could you just talk us through that?
For buy to let, right?
Yeah, specifically buy to let.
Yeah,
We could
well,
talk about owner
so
occupier later, but buy to let is good for a start.
Yeah, so for buy to let the obviously my client will need to pay extra attention on the AST, on the actual AST arrangement and the procedure. So usually when that comes to my client, then I will ask the seller to provide me as much as they can the tenant's detail, the a valid AST signed by both party, how they hold a deposit, whether or not the tenant has a good history of paying the rent on time, and references, inventory checklist from the letting agent who's actually managing the letting work for the seller, and or most importantly, whether or not my client wants to keep the tenant or whether or not my clients wants to keep using the same letting management agent to help them to look after the tenant, and also remind them that the obviously the deposit protection scheme that will be they will need to transfer that after they finish the completion. I will need to transfer the name under my client's name instead after they complete the transaction. That would be quite a lot of information that I usually request the seller solicitor to provide us.
Could we just talk about the difference between the conveyancing processes for leasehold versus freehold?
We still need to go through the usual procedure, but obviously for leasehold, it will be more documents to read, and there will be definitely the lease and the transfer at a title deed. And obviously, if there's a management company in the will and in the whole estate, then we'll need to ask the seller to provide us the management property pack to
Okay.
see like whether or not there will be a service charge budget, reserve fund for the service charge, any like services provided by the broad management company, and how often do they pay that kind of thing. And also we need to double check if the seller has paid the service charge and ground rent on time, so make sure that will be like a clear cut when we do the handover on the completion. So that kind of stuff that we need to double check with the seller solicitor. But
Okay.
for freehold, we don't have the management agent and we don't have the block management company to look after that. So it will be very, very straightforward. So time wise, you can spend maybe 1 month, I would say 6 to 8 weeks to complete like a freehold transaction. But
Hmm.
leasehold will take, I think, extra 2 to 3 weeks time.
Is there anything else people should know on
I
this
think,
topic?
yeah, I think I must have said that the procedure, the convincing procedure in Hong Kong and England is it's not a huge difference. I mean, we still need to check the title paper, but the major point is that in England we don't really sign anything. For example, what do we mean when I say you don't need to sign anything? In Hong Kong, I understand that from my client, or I used to work in Hong Kong before. The way they work is as soon as they pay the reservation fee, or as soon as they look at the property, they pay 10% right away, and they will sign the contract with the buyer right away. And the 10% money will go to the seller, and they will release the deposit to the seller right away. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
as far as I understand from my client, that is how they work in Hong Kong. So the deal will become like legal binding. So both parties cannot pull out that easy. But in here, obviously, it's different because we check the title, we spend time to look at searches and everything. In Hong Kong, they don't do searches, I believe. So here is to do searches, and we check the title, we make sure everything is okay, and then we exchange contract, and then we pay 10%. But before that, you know it. I mean, seller and the buyer can pull out anytime they want.
Yeah.
So it's actually they don't really have like a real commitment before we exchange. But in Hong Kong, it's different because the buyer will pay 10% right away to secure the deal, and the seller cannot just say, "Oh, I'm not gonna sell it to you," because the seller will get 10% right away. So it's quite interesting the way that we work in here and the way they work in Hong Kong. That I think that is a major difference because often I got questions from my client, "Oh, what happened if the seller pull out before we exchange?" And I was just say, "Look, there's really not much we can do. You just have to look for the other property." And then obviously for them it'll be like they're losing like maybe some legal costs and searches fee, but unfortunately this is not something that we can do. So that's the difference in Hong Kong and England.
That's interesting. Therefore, what's the consequence of that difference?
It the consequence is like once the deal become legal binding, like the one they did in Hong Kong, right? Like the one they were in Hong Kong. So we know that like the deal is that no one can pull out. But here it's like if the seller, say for example, if the seller find another buyer who pay them higher offer, give them a higher offer, they can just pull it out anytime they want.
And
It's
how,
not
but how often are you seeing that? That's gazumping, isn't it? So it's where
okay.
people.
It's not that common, and it's not often, I must say. But it could happen. It could happen.
Very good. Well, Hosanna, I'm really grateful for you to take the time out to join us. That was fascinating. It was really, really helpful. And until next time, investors, good investing.
Thank you.
I hope you found that helpful. And as ever, if you do like, please like. And if you want to see more, then please subscribe. And until next time, good investing.